So Daniel Bryan has given an interview to mysanantonio.com. This was a really long interview and it's posted on their website in full if you would like to go and read it. But be warned, it's a lot to read. Of course, for the purpose of this video, we are only going to focus on the Fiend related stuff. And I tell you what, it's honestly super interesting. There's a lot of stuff in here which you kind of assume this is what happened, but you kind of think WWE could have done this an easier way. Now, the first thing they ask him is, when did you know you had to shave the beard and hair down? And what was your reaction? And what was your wife's? Now, what I've decided to do for the purpose of this video is actually take screenshots and put the text on screen. So if you choose to, you can pause and read the whole article. You'll just have to go to the next bit when it slides over, but you'll be perfectly fine. Now, I will summarize it, of course, if you don't want to read it. I can understand it's a very long paragraph. But Daniel Bryan actually pitched the idea himself to WWE. He said he wanted to shave off his beard and that Bray could kind of take that. Now WWE then upped the ante and said, well, he can take your hair too. And Daniel Bryan wasn't very happy about it at first. He prefers to wrestle with longer hair, which makes a lot of sense because with longer hair you can sell moves better. As you move, the hair moves. It just looks cooler on TV. You think about superstars like Edge and Jeff Hardy, it really works for their characters. And Daniel Bryan's very similar. When you're running around, the hair moves, it just looks cooler. It is very interesting to note that he actually agreed to that. And not only that, but when it actually come to taking the hair and Bray throwing the hair around, that was Daniel Bryan's real hair. It wasn't fake hair. It wasn't someone else's hair. It was his legit real hair that literally he got pulled under the ring with 1.5 minutes left on the show. And there was a couple of people there shaving each side of the hair. And Bray got past it and thrown it around. There was also a producer under the ring, all crammed into that small space. He then went backstage and FaceTimed Bray. And, well, let's just say she wasn't as happy as what he would have hoped. He kind of knew that she wouldn't because apparently she doesn't like shaved heads. Bit of random wrestling trivia for you there. But I just find it really interesting that they pulled him under the ring. They could have just had fake hair there ready to be thrown up. But instead it was legit his real hair. Now, of course, they go on to ask him, your match with The Fiend at Survivor Series was better received than most have been under that lighting. How hard is it to wrestle under the red lights? Now, we've heard other superstars in the past say how awful it is. A lot of fans obviously complain about it. Now, Daniel Bryan actually said initially he didn't think it would be any different for him. But what he found hardest the most was the fans. And the fans reacting. Now, of course, when you watch a Fiend match, it's very hard to not think the fans aren't into it. When in reality they are, but they're just concentrating really hard because it's very hard to see. Of course, on TV, a lot of fans complain that it's hard to see, and it is. It's not the most easiest thing to see, especially with WWE in the modern age. You expect better. But Daniel said, doing the backflip off the turnbuckle was difficult. And I kind of, in a way, like that. I kind of think that, isn't that the purpose of the red light? To throw a superstar off? Surely this is kind of a little bit of blurring the lines between kayfabe and reality. If Daniel Bryan is performing worse in the ring, is it then reflective of the fact he's facing the Fiend? I don't know. Maybe. Of course you want a superstar to perform the best they can at all times. But maybe that little thing throwing them off just adds a little bit to the character of the Fiend and the red lights, and I don't know. I kind of like that. And that sounds really horrible to say, but I kind of do. I kind of think the Fiend deserves that kind of air of mystery to him. And one day the red lights will be destroyed and they won't happen anymore, I assume. And then you kind of lose that. And that's a fine thing. That's fine to do. But I think it's very interesting that Daniel Bryan spoke about it like that he was okay with it. Certain moves and the reaction from the fans is what bothered him. Now, I thought this interview was brilliant. Just for those 2 points of backstage scoop on actually what happened. So let me know your thoughts, as you always do, in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like the video. It really does help it rank up on YouTube, so I really do appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Share this video on social media so your friends can find it too. And I'll, as always, see you next time. Peace!